Hello and welcome to Monday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where today we're going to be doing Fog of War again. And this puzzle is by Myxo. Now, I did a Myxo puzzle on the channel just last week. Let me remind you what that one looked like. It was this Fillomino 77, absolutely extraordinary puzzle. Magnificent. It made me think about golf. It was so clever. And anyway, we published that and we got several emails saying, well, you've really got to look at Myxo's Fog of War puzzle. I didn't know Myxo had done a Fog of War puzzle. So I've investigated this puzzle, and what I understand is that this is regarded by many people as their favourite Fog of War puzzle that existed. I don't know why we just didn't know about it. It's called Benabelti Nakbashaft. Benabelti Nakbashaft, perhaps. Now, I had to use Google Translate. My elementary German was not good enough to understand what that meant. It means foggy neighbourhood. And you can see we've got sort of a colourful foggy neighbourhood. And for those of you who aren't familiar with Fog of War Sudoku puzzles, the idea of these puzzles is you use the white squares, the cells where there is no fog, to deduce things. And let's say you'd got the value of this digit somehow using logic, then that will clear the fog away from the cells surrounding the cell that you place the correct digit in. Now, it does lend itself to cheating, so you mustn't do that. You know, if we go to the centre of the grid, if I was to write the numbers 1 to 9 in there, one of them would be correct and it would clear the fog, but I would not have earned that digit, and I wouldn't have earned that fog clearance. So we mustn't do that. We must try and do it logically, and we'll have a go at this in a moment or two's time. Now, what do I need to tell you about before then? Not very much. The closing date has now passed for Tennis Anyone, which was our monthly reward on Patreon for August. We are busy working already, of course, on the monthly reward for September, which I guess is not that far away. And we'll announce the winner of the August prize soon. Other than that, what else? There was something else I was meant to mention. Oh, I can't remember what it was. I've got shout-outs to do. I'm still catching up post-holiday on some birthday shout-outs. So I'm going to start with Andrew, who turned 7 while I was away on August the 13th, and I understand celebrated his 7th birthday at the Magic Kingdom in Walt Disney World. Well, Andrew, that sounds fantastic, and I know it was your birthday. Basically, Ben, Mary, and Hope. I think your mum and dad are probably Ben and Mary, and Hope might be your sister. Anyway, Andrew, I hope you had a brilliant day in Walt Disney World, and I hope you were able to have some chocolate cake. I'm sure they do chocolate cake at Walt Disney World. Next, a shout out for Luke, who lives over in Louisiana and started his jazz studies degree at Loyola University in New Orleans. And I know this because your dad Brennan wrote to us, Luke, and Brennan, some of you may know, is responsible for our outro music. So Brennan, clearly a very good musician in his own right, and Luke following in his father's footsteps. So Luke, I hope the degree goes brilliantly. Jazz studies, I mean, if you're going to do jazz studies, what better place to do it than New Orleans? Good grief. Now, next, while I was away, this one was as well, Mojo, over in Texas, whose real name is Monica. Your son, Gus, wrote us a lovely email, Mojo, and Gus is only 8.5, and Gus watches and solves Sudoku already, loves watching, and his mum is a doctor over there in Texas, and Gus doesn't like it when it's slow at the doctor's surgery, because apparently his mother will spend time then watching Cracking the Cryptic, which is time that Gus wants to be spent watching Cracking the Cryptic. He doesn't like the thought that his mum's watching Cracking the Cryptic without him. So this is just fantastic. It's fantastic to hear. And Monica, I hope you had an absolutely brilliant birthday. And then a birthday today, so I'm not late with this one, for Lindsay, from your husband Aaron. And Lindsay and Aaron, I know, got married fairly recently. Because I'm pretty sure I shouted that out. I want to say, was that back in June? Anyway, Lindsay, I hope you have chocolate cake today and have a brilliant birthday, of course. Now, let's get cracking with Myxo's puzzle and see what Myxo has in store for us. So the rules of this one are as follows. Normal Sudoku rules apply. So we need to put the digits 1 to 9 in every row, in every column, and in every 3x3 box, just once each. My phone is buzzing, that's fine. Digits connected by a white dot are consecutive. Well, I can't see any white dots yet. So let's imagine there was a white dot joining these two cells, and we worked out that this cell was a 2. Now, I don't want to put 2 in there, because if I put 2 in and it happened to be correct, it would clear the fog as Maverick flies past. Well, but if this digit has to be consecutive with this one, this would have to then be a 1 or a 3. That's how white dots will work when we find them. Digits connected by a black dot are in a ratio of 2 to 1, i.e. one digit will be double the other. So I can see some black dots. So let's look at this one. Imagine this square was a 2. Now this square would either be a 1, because 2 is double 1, or it would be a 4, because 4 is double 2. So you just have to make sure that one of the digits on a black dot is double the other. Not all dots are necessarily given. So that's telling us that, imagine these two digits were consecutive. There doesn't, and there was no dot between them. That's absolutely fine. So you don't have to have dots between consecutive digits or dots between digits in a 1 to 2 ratio. It's just that where there is a dot, you must have that condition applied to the two digits connected. Now, this is where it gets more unusual. Coloured lines in the grid are Renban lines. Digits on a Renban line form a set of non-repeating consecutive digits, and these digits can appear in any order. So let's imagine that this yellow line was just straight. Can I do that actually? I can do that. Let's use the line drawing tool. So let's imagine that the line here connected like this. And let's say that this square was a 1. Oh, I put 1 in. Oh, goodness me. I didn't mean to do that. But that cell is not a 1, but we won't use that logic. If this square was a 1, then because this has to be a consecutive sequence, this would have to be the digits 1 through 7 in some order, I think, is what we're being told there. So something like that would work. Now, all Renban lines in the grid move orthogonally between neighbouring cells, do not branch and do not overlap each other. Each line has a unique colour, and the grid is covered with fog, and correctly placing digits will clear the fog around that cell. So basically we're going to have to work out how these two red strands are connected, the two blue strands are connected, the two yellow strands are connected, and we're going to have to work out how the lines move beneath the fog in order to deduce some logic, and knowing that once we've completed the lines, those lines then have to have a consecutive sequence of digits on them. And the only other thing, orthogonally, is just a complicated word of saying cells that share an edge. So what we couldn't do here is move that like that, for example, because this cell and this cell are not orthogonally connected. They do not share an edge. They just touch at a point, and therefore that would disobey the rules. And we can't make the Renban lines branch, or what was the other thing? Oh, they can't share a cell either. So we couldn't have that going on, for example, because obviously this cell here then has yellow and red in it, and that's not going to work. Do have a go at the puzzle. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual, but now I get to play. Let's get cracking. Now, I'm going to start with box 1 actually, because there are some secrets of black dot cells in Sudoku. So what are the possible relationships we can have where one digit is double the other? We could have 1 and 2. We could have 2 and 4, we could have 3 and 6, and we could have 4 and 8. So each of those combinations doesn't involve 5, 7 or 9. And you can play with those numbers in your head and realise why. I mean, if you put 5, 7 or 9, well, let's go with 5, then the digit on the black dot would have to be 10 or 2.5. If it's 7, it would have to be 14 or 3.5, and 9 would have to be 18 or 4.5, and none of those digits are Sudoku digits. So I think what we're being told here is that 5, 7 and 9 are a triple in box 1, and therefore one of them is a 9. And whichever one of the lines has the 9 on it is going to, well, once we know maybe what we've got to do actually is to start to build these lines out, because we can see that some of the ways they move, can't we? We can see that they're moving like this originally. Yeah, okay, and if the blue line can't share a cell with the red line and has to move orthogonally, the blue line has to do that. Oh yeah, okay, so we're going to get more than I'd realised here. We're going to get the blue line. So the blue line just goes across the top of the grid. And it can't branch, so that is the full nature of the blue line. Okay. Right. So these digits are a consecutive set of digits. So we can say immediately they're either 1 to 7, 2 to 8, or 3 to 9, aren't they? That's the only three. If you imagine the digits 1 to 9 lined up in front of you, and you cut a sequence of 7 digits, there's only 3 ways of doing it. Now that implies that the 2 digits that are left over and left off this line are either going to be a 1-2 pair, which is I think what they are going to be, if this line contains 3 to 9. If this line contains 2 to 8, this would have to be a 1-9 pair, and 9 is not double 1. There's a knowledge bomb for you. And if there was a 1 on this line, it would be 1 to 7, and this would be an 8-9 pair, and that's also not got the correct ratio. So this is a 1-2 pair, and this blue line is 3 to 9. Okay, so now, oh yeah, we probably knew that anyway. I was just thinking, because we've got 3 black dots in box 1, we could have worked out that 2-4 was never going to be a valid combination, because it would have taken out of play too many versions of pairs. So so this is a 1-2 pair. We're going to have a 4-8 pair and a 3-6 pair in some order. Now maybe it's this square then. So let's just fill in the options here. We've got 3-6 or 4-8. So this digit is also 3, 4, 6, or no, it's not actually, is it? Because I've suddenly thought, if that's a 4, that could be a 2. Okay, that's not very good. Yeah, okay, that is possible. So this has more options than these do. Right, so we're going to have to think. It's quite strange, this, actually, because I don't see at first. Well, no, I suppose I was about to say I don't see at first blush how we're ever going to know how the red line works. But one thing I can tell you is that the red line can't do the same thing the blue line did, because that would imply that this has to be a 1-2 pair. So the red line is going to go out of its row. But where? So the red line's going to go out of its row. So it's going to take so it's going to be at least 8 cells long. I can see that now. But how do you know what it does? I don't think we do you? It could be like that, and that would be a 9-cell red line. But it doesn't have to be, I don't think. I think it could be that, or it could be that. So well, at least I don't think we know how long that red line is. We know it's either 8 or 9 cells large. So it's missing a 1 or a 9. Well, no, it's missing a 1 or a 9 if it's 8 cells, but if it's 9 cells, obviously it's got every digit on it. Sorry, I'm not quite seeing how this works. Do I have to think about the yellow line as well then? Let me just play around with this for a moment. So if the red line did this... Oh, hang on, that's 9. Oh, sorry, I've missed something here. I've missed something. The red line is always 9 cells, I've suddenly realised. Because once it dips down into row 3, it's either it can never go into row 4, can it? Because then it's going to be too long by the time it gets back up to row 2 again. It's taken 4 cells there outside row 2, and that's too many. So, okay, so once it dips down, it has to stay in row 2, and it either stays in row 2 for 2 more cells, and it becomes 9 like that, or it just does a little wiggle, but then it still has to extend. So it has to take either 6 or 7 cells in row 2 always, and either 2 or 3 cells in row 3 always. So it's always 9 cells. Okay. So these 2 digits are all... Right, that's quite interesting. These 2 digits here are always in 2 of those 3 cells in row 3, because they've got to appear on the red line, because the red line is 9 cells long and they can't contain a repeated digit. And then the yellow line, one, two, three, 4, 5, 6. Is that, maybe that's it. Maybe the yellow line always has to be 9 cells as well. I'm not sure about that. So if the red line... Oh, hang on. Why have I got a red thingy there? Don't want a red thingy there. So if the red line dips down like that, well, how do we connect the yellow line now? Is that always going to be 9 cells or not? If we go as efficiently as we can. Yeah, it is, isn't it? Oh, that's really weird. It is. Because it always has to sit outside the red line. That's very clever. I'm not even sure I'm going to be terribly brilliant at explaining why this is the case. I can see it's the case. So you can see that to connect this yellow line up, going as efficiently as possible, so not deviating at all, we're always going to get to a count of 9 cells once we go round the kink in the red line. So here you can see we've already penciled in 8 yellow cells and we still haven't achieved the connection. So the connection is either going to be here or it's going to be here. Now if we tried a different shape for the red, it doesn't matter what shape we had. Obviously that's essentially symmetrical, so that's going to have the same effect. And if we do that, then that just forces the shape of the yellow line. So the yellow line... Right, so we don't know what the red line does, but we do know that the yellow line is also 9 cells long. Right, I've got it now. I've understood it. So what we're being told is that this square is a 2. And we're being told that this square is a 2 because we have to now consider where these 4 digits go on the reds and yellow lines. This is really clever. It's really clever. So let me sort of talk you through how I'm seeing that. So I know that the red line is dipping down for at least 2 cells into row 3. And I know that the green digits then are going to be somewhere there. But remember, those green digits also have to appear on the yellow line, and they're not going to be in these squares now. So they're going to be somewhere. I don't have a clue where. They're going to be somewhere in those cells on the yellow line, because I know that whatever the structure is of the yellow line, because it A has to be 9 cells long to connect itself up, and B, because it can't be longer than 9 cells long. It can't come down into row 5, because it will spend too many cells, because I was trying to close it by being as efficient as possible, not by dipping down here. So once the red line has done its wiggle, the yellow line will hug the red line. It will have some cells in here which are going to include green. So green is in some of those cells, don't know where. The 2 green cells are in those. But where are these 2 digits then? On yellow. Well, they've got to be down here as well, somewhere, don't know where. But that means all 4 of these digits sit in those 5 cells somehow, some way, and they look at that cell. So I think this cell is a 2, and let's see. Bingo! Isn't that clever? That's very weird, and I mean, I'm always admiring the way constructors approach these Fog of War puzzles, because it's very difficult, I think, to make interesting logic emerge from very few Sudoku cells, but Myxo has definitely done that already. And look, we've got new things emerging under the fog. We've got orange here and white dots here. Oh, I tell you what else we've got. If that's a 2, because this has got to have 3, 4, 6 and 8 in it, all of these things at the top are resolved. That's a 2 in the corner, no song for that. This 2 has to be connected to a 4, so this is an 8, and we've got a 3-6 pair now, which is the green digits. I still haven't got a Scooby-Doo quite how red and yellow are going to end up being positioned. I know that green has to be in 2 of these 3 cells, so 3 and 6 are in those cells somehow. And these squares include 3, 6, 4 and 8 in some way. So that's a naked cell. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That's a naked single. That cell sees 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. So I think that's a 1. Oh, now this orange line, which has to connect to that orange line, is going in a very weird way. So this is going to be a mighty line as well, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's try and connect it really quickly. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, okay, so the orange line is at least 8 cells long. Well, okay. Can't we use... Yeah, I can. We can use Bishop's colouring here. The orange line is 8 cells long. Well, I think that's right. Because the orange line moves from cell to cell orthogonally, then we know if it had an odd length, it would have to be on the same bishop's colour from a chess perspective. Because imagine, yeah, I mean, just look at the line here. Imagine this was just a length 3 line. This would be the end of the line, and it's on the same bishop's colour as the cell it starts from. Now, if we extend this line to here, say, how long could it be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's got to be odd in length, doesn't it? Even if we take an excursion, by the time we get back to this, it's always going to be an odd number of cells that we've taken. Now, to get from here to here, which are on different bishop's colours, therefore, we've got to have an even length line, and we can't have a line of length 10 because there are not 10 different Sudoku digits. So this is a length 8 line, But and in fact we know exactly what it is. It's got to be that, because it cannot deviate from that efficient path, or it would be too long. That's weird. So now, if orange is a length 8 line, it's not got 1 or 9 on it. Now, not sure about how we can do that. Do I know what that white digit is? That white digit. I must know something about that. That's got to be 5, 7, or 9. It's not 9. Okay. Yeah, let's think about that. It's this square here by Sudoku is 5, 7, or 9 because it sees every other digit. But if it's 9, that would have to be consecutive with 9. It would have to be 8, and it would clash. So this is 5 or 7. If it's 7, it has to go 6, 5. And if it's 5, it could go 4, 3, could it? Not sure. So this is always even. So this is 4 or 6. And this is 3, 7, 6, 5. 5, 6, 7, I think. Okay, and this digit is... Oh, hang on, look, I've just spotted something. This orange line is not available. This orange cell is not available for the yellow cell. So the yellow has to go there, and then the red has to go there. And we know the red isn't allowed to connect here, because it would just then be the same as blue and cause a 1-2 pair. So the red then dips down, and now in order to only be 9 long, it has to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we know, now we know that this is a 3, 6 pair. We know this is not a 3 or a 6. Yellow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yellow we know the shape of. Oh, this is just beautiful. It's so strange, but beautiful. Now, that square loses its... not its religion, but it loses its ability to be 3. So this is now 3, 4, 6, and 8. Let's just put that in. 3, 4. That's a 3, 4, 6, 8 quadruple. This square is 5, 7, or 9. It would be very useful if we knew. If it's 9, then we would know there's no 1 on this line. But I think this could be 9 over here. 9 is in one of 2 places in row 4. Okay. Oh, no, I'm going to do this differently. Where is 9 in box 4 now? It's not on the white dots. And by Sudoku, it's on the line here. And if it's on the orange line, it can't repeat on the orange line. So that's a 5, 7 pair, and that's a 9 over the other side of the grid. Oh, no, we earn a black dot from that. We now know that there is no... because there's a 9 on orange, and orange is 8 long, there's no 1 on it. So 1 is in one of 2 places. In box 5... do we know 5? Yeah, okay, 5 is always in one of those 2 places in box 4. We can't create this string of 3 without having 5 on the line. Yes, I suppose we could have seen that by thinking about the fact that 2 and 8 were not in this 3-cell white dot sequence. So we're selecting 3 consecutive digits from the digits 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So you're always going to pick up a 5 on that line. But do you have to pick up a 7 or not? No, not if it's 3, 4, 5. 1 has to be down there. That's just Sudoku. I've got a bad feeling I'm about to get very stuck here. Let me think about this. So, how am I meant to do, how are we meant to get this digit, whatever that digit is, can't repeat on the line and can't be in those squares. So that digit is this, oh, that's it. That's very weird. That's very, very weird, but I think correct. So what I'm wondering about is this very specific digit. In fact, let's orangeify it. And I'm asking where that digit goes in box 4. Now, by Sudoku, it's not allowed to repeat on the orange line. Well, not by Sudoku, by Renban rules. It can't repeat in its own row, and it can't be there because of this 579 triple. So it has to be there, and therefore it's not allowed to be a 3. And that gives us a 5-7 pair, which means the digit between that's a 6. And that was right, because it cleared the fog. Okay, we can get rid of the orange colouring now. Get rid of the 5 pencil mark there, I think. As the clock chimes, we can say, no, we can't do that. That's not going to be right. I want to know what that digit is. That's a digit that does have to appear on the orange line. Okay, yes. So let's actually do that. Let's put this digit in. This digit is not a 1, because the 1 is here. So it is on the orange line somewhere. And we know it's not on the orange line there, because these two digits are the same. So where does it go on the orange line? Well, it's got to be in one of these two cells, which means by Sudoku it's one of these cells, but it's not 9 because 9's already there. So it's 3, 4, 6 or 8, and it's not allowed to be 6. So it's 3, 4 or 8. Which I want to say that's doing something clever, but I don't see how to make that work to my advantage. 7 is down there by Sudoku. 5 actually. 5 and 7 are down here. Or maybe it's the 1. Is it something to do? Is it something simpler than the nonsense I'm trying to work out here? Probably. Oh, maybe it's this black dot. This black dot doesn't have 6 on it anymore. So it's not a 3-6 pair. If it was a 4-8 pair, that would do huge things, wouldn't it? Or would it? Maybe not, actually. I've got to put 2 on the orange line, so 2 has to be in one of those squares. Maybe that's worth noting. I'm far from sure how I'm meant to approach this at the moment. 6 also. Oh, no. Let's go back. Let's think about 6 on the orange line. 6 can't be there or there, so 6 is down here, which means, oh, this is lovely. So that means that this is a quadruple on 3, 4, 6 and 8, and the 6, because it has to be down here, is now not up here, which means there is now a 6 in one of these squares, which is another way of saying that this isn't a 3-6 black dot. Okay. But now, where's 9 in this box? 9 can't repeat on the orange line. So 9 and 1 are a pair. That's probably been available for a while. I just didn't see it. Which means that once we cater for the 3, 4, 6, 8 quadruple and the 1, 9 pair, these squares are from 2, 5 and 7. Oh, this is so clever. So now 2 is in row 5 on the orange line, which means this black dot hasn't got 2 on it. So it's not 1, 2, it's not 2, 4, it's not 3, 6, so it is 4, 8. And that might do things. This is now not 4, 8, so this is 3, 6. There's a 3, 6 pair in column 7. This is 4, 8, so this isn't 4, 8. This is now exactly equal to 3. That did clear fog. Okay, that's good, I think. So maybe we've got to pencil mark this up, do we? Oh, 4. Where's 4 in this box? 4 has to go there. That did some more clearance, didn't it? So we get an 8. Oh, hang on. I didn't see anything there. 8, 9 have to be a pair is what I was trying to do. And I think I put in a big digit and it cleared something. But that, okay, it didn't. Don't think it's over cleared anything. The 4 did give us the reveal of this cell, didn't it? Because it would have cleared that. Now, okay, so 4, 8 pair means this is a 9. This is an 8. That's going to clear something. We get the emergence of a new line here. Do we get, oh, the 6 and the 3 is resolved at the top. Look, let's get rid of that red line. Let's get rid of that. So from this row's perspective, oh, 9 and the 1, oh, this is going to do loads of fog clearance. Look, we're doing quite well all of a sudden. There's a 2 in one of those, so this square is from 5 and 7. We know those 2 are the same, so those 3 digits are all the same. Let's label those with A, just so that we remember that. Though hopefully Sudoku would have told us that. Oh, look, we've got a new line that's emerged as well, a purpley line. So that's going down there and down there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's at least a length 7 line. Do we want to pencil mark these squares? I don't really. Do we want to... I am prepared to pencil mark these squares. They're 2, 6 and 8. So let's do that, 2, 6 and 8. And these as well, actually. So these squares are 3, 5 and 7. Which means these squares are 1, 4 and 9. Okay, so this line is not... Right. Ooh, hang on a minute. Let me just think about this. Oh, that's right. That's my favourite bit of the puzzle so far, and I've really loved this puzzle already. But this is absolutely brilliant. I now know the length of the green line, I think. Yeah, I do. Isn't this wonderful? This is just beautiful. Oh, hang on. I want to do a green line. Look, this green line, which is definitely taking in these 2 cells, we know it incorporates digits from 1, 4 and 9. So can the green line just be 2 cells long? No, because 1, 4 and 9 are not consecutive digits. So the green line has to go down again. Now the green line incorporates the digits 1, 4 and 9. So it must be a 9 cell sequence, because it definitely has 1 and it definitely has 9 on it, which means it's got to go that way, which is going to push our pink line that way, which is going to push our green line this way and keep it going. So the pink line, look, still has to keep going. Is the pink line going to get I think this is going to force the pink line to close, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The green line still needs to grow. The pink line still needs to grow, and it can't grow anywhere, but it can't grow into the white cells. So it's sort of being corralled into an extended U heptomino or something, and the green line, which is already 7, 8, 9, the green line's finished. Oh, this is just brilliant. This is quite brilliant. So, right, okay, so what do we do now? We get rid of the one pencil mark here. I don't know what else we do. Let me think. Come on. This law of leftovers. I'm just okay. The reason I'm thinking law of leftovers is that those two digits here. We have to put those two digits in row 9 somewhere, so they have to be there. Because they can't repeat on the green line, and that one's not 9. So we're not going to get a 3 in the corner. We could still get a 3 in the corner there. That's the only opportunity that we have left for that now. Okay. Don't know what that means. How on earth can this solve from here? There's not nearly enough information. What? I mean, what on earth is going on? I'm a bit lost here. I am totally and utterly hornswoggled. Probably means I've not done some Sudoku somewhere, which would help me to work out what's going on. 9. Oh, hang on, I've had another thought. I've got to make a decision, don't I, about what's not on the pink line. If the pink line... Yes, I see. It's about 9, I think. Yeah, okay. So where is 9 in box 8? And because 9 can't be on the green line, and it can't be on the black dot, and it can't be in those two squares, 9 is on those two squares, and that's so clever, because now we know what the digits are on the pink line. They've got to be all the digits apart from 1 and 2. And therefore 1, which can't be on the green line in box 8, has to be on the black dot, and once it's on the black dot, that's a 1-2 pair, which means this is called getting sorted out. So 2... Oh, nearly. I was just thinking that 2 does have to be on the green line, and therefore it's in one of those two positions. But unfortunately, I think both of those are available. 2 can't be on the pink line now. We know that the pink line is all the digits 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So right, I now think this is the 2 on the green line. Might be wrong about this, but here's my logic for that. My logic is that that digit, let's call it, so let's make it pink. That digit, is that on the pink line? Yes, it is, somewhere, because it's a 6 or an 8. Only 1 and 2 are not on the pink line. So where does this digit go on the pink line? And the answer is, I don't know. But I do know it's not there, and it's not there, so it's in one of those 3. And therefore, by Sudoku, it's there, because it's not there. So that's a 6 or an 8. But we just said that we had to put 2 on the green line somewhere. And it can't go there now, so I think that's a 2. And it is. Which must mean... I don't know what that means. So that digit and that digit, this is the pink digit. These two digits are the same. This digit has already appeared on the pink line, so that digit is down there somewhere. Boom, boom, and then over there somewhere, so that's probably less helpful. If that's 9, that's 8. Is that possible? Probably. Not sure why it wouldn't be. 2 by Sudoku is in one of those squares. 3 6 pair here. So that's not 6, that's 8. Ah, now we might be. Oh, well now we are cooking with gas, because that can't be 9 anymore, because that would have to have 8 on its white dot. So that's got to be a 9, and that's going to clear more fog. Now we know this is 8 because it's pink or purple, whichever way you see that colour. Oh, hang on, I want to restore that 9. Make that 9 come back and let me get rid of the colour in the square. 8 is in one of these, so 7 is in one of those, because 8 can only be consecutive with 9 or 7, and 9 is not available. So one of these is a 7-8 pair. It would be most useful if it was this one. That would place a 7 here. That square's a 6 now, because it's not an 8. So 6 is in one of these 3 squares. Is that helpful? It might be. Okay. Sorry, I know I'm not saying anything. It's because I'm stuck. I'm just trying to think about what this might mean. This is just a seriously clever puzzle. Okay. So maybe 3, 5, 7. Oh, 7 is coming at us. Because 7 is down here, 7 is not there anymore. So this is 3 or 5, and that needs to have a home on the pink line. I'm not sure if we know much more about that though. So this row needs 3s, 5s, 6s, and 7s. That square's not 9, I've just noticed by Sudoku. Is that... Oh, hang on a minute. There's a line under there, is there? Is that... Let me just delete that. There is. For some reason I had trouble seeing that line. There's a new line that goes from there to there. I might make that black actually, just so I can really see it. So there's a line here, but all right. So I can say one thing about this. This line, which exists in these 2 squares, it can't be massive because there are only a few cells of fog in which this line can live. So if this was a 1-9 pair, that wouldn't work, because then we'd need 9 cells, and that sort of apostrophe shape is not 9 cells large, it's only 7 cells large. This is not a 1-9 pair, so it does involve a 4, and that means this square's not a 4, which is absolutely annoying. That's a chocolate teapot triple. Bobbin's face. Oh, no, I was about to say, is there anything else we can rule out? But there isn't. Because if this is 4, 9, we can fit the necessary digits in. If this is 1, 4, again, we can... I suppose one thing we know is that whatever this is, it's got to grow a bit bigger. It's got to go to that square, in fact. At least. Because it's at least... The shortest it can be would be a 1-4 pair, which would still require a 2 and a 3 to be hidden under the fog. So it's at least that long, but might be longer, I think is what we're able to say. Okay, but what has that actually done for us? Maybe not enough. Oh, 4. There's a little X-wing of 4s, look, between those cells. So 4 in column 7 now must live in one of the top 2 positions. But unfortunately, again, that feels like it's not going to be enough. These squares are 1, 2, 5, 7. I normally don't like to pencil mark this many digits, but for some reason in Fog of War it feels more acceptable to do that. So these 2 digits, have to appear on the green line somewhere, don't they? Oh, okay, one of those is a 7, which is in one of these squares. One of them is a 3 or a 5, and that's also going to be down here. And it's going to be the sort of counterpart to this. So that digit has to be on the... What about that digit? Does that have to be... If that's 4, what would we know about that? Anything? That would have to be on the pink line. It would have to be there, I think. Can't see where else it could go on the pink line. So that would be 8, 7. Oh, but 4 is a very realistic number to go on the pink line on a dot, because then this could be 3 or 5, which was one of those digits that we said had to be down here anyway. So that could very much be a 4, I think. What about that digit? Is that somehow interesting? Ah. No, I'm not sure about this, but one thing I've just noticed is that 3 can't go in either of those 2 positions, because 3 can only be consecutive with 2 and 4, and 2 has gone in the box, and we can't put 4 on the green line because it's already appeared on the green line. So 3 is not in these 2 squares, so 3 is either there, which probably does. Maybe I have to colour my 3s and 6s. 3 is either there, or 3 is down here and fixes this digit. Can I colour my 3s and 6s? I can only colour these 2, I think. Yeah, I'm not so sure it's colouring 3s and 6s. It might be colouring something at some point. Yeah, we need to knock... If we could extend this line, or if we could get a digit onto this line that was outside of the 1-4 range, or the 4-9 range, or, you know, that would actually tell me something useful, that might be a way we could think about this. What is the trick here? 4, because 4 is there, 4 is in one of those 3 cells, isn't it? In box 8. Now, 4 would go with 3 or 5. Yeah, that's fine. That's 4 here would go with 3 or 5 here. I think that's still fine. I can't see how to do it. Oh no! Oh, don't get stuck now, Simon. What a disaster. Let's get rid of the colouring for those squares, because that's no longer necessary. What could it be? I don't know. Is there something I've not divined from elsewhere in the puzzle? There's got to be a 1 and a 2 here, and these squares. Maybe some Sudoku somehow. Is it the 2 that's over there? I don't think so. 4 we've thought about. 8. 8 is in one of these squares. One of those 2 squares. So 7 is in one of these. Which is fine, I think. 7 is in one of those. 6 is up here, for what that's worth. I don't think it's very much. Oh, 6 is not in that one, actually, because of this 3-6 pair. Or is it? I don't know. Is it some sort of Sudoku trickery? Not sure at all. Come on, Simon. I don't think we're far away from solving this. Oh, sorry, 4 is in one of those squares. Oh no, hang on, that's not true. 4 is not in one of those. 4 is also here. I was about to use that to get this digit, and that would not have been correct at all. I'm quite pleased that that wasn't correct, because that would have just been complete ineptitude on my part. Is there some other digit that, you know, for example, we couldn't put on the white dots for some reason that I'm not appreciating? It's possible, but I mean, it felt like it was interesting to think about 3. That did feel like it was. That did feel like it was. Oh, yes, in fact. I've just noticed these 2 squares can't include 3. So if this was a 1-4 pair, where are we putting the 3? We could put the 2 here. That's. Oh, no, the 2 could be in either position. The 2 could be up here as well. But we would need a 3, and the 3 would have to go in one of those squares. Is that fine or not? I'm not sure. I think it's not fine for the 3 to be in these positions, is it? Or actually, that might not be true. No, that might not be true anyway, because what I could do, I've just got to not have 3 in those cells. Those are the 2 cells the 3s cannot go in. So 3 on the pink line is in one of these 3 positions. Now, so what would be useful here is to work out why, if that's a 3, is there some issue with the world? If that's a 3, this is a 3. 3 is in one of those 2 positions in box 9. Oh no, it's not 3, it's 8. Sorry, it's completely obvious now. You just have to have the right sequence of thoughts. 8 is the key. Why do I think 8 is the key? Well, because suddenly I thought, if I was trying to approach this from bottom up, but if I have the thought the other way round, noting 8 can't be there, if this is 9-4, I need to put 8 on the line. And I can't. There's nowhere for 8 to go. This 8 rules it out of these squares, and 8 can't go there. So this can't be 9. That's so clever. It's absolutely fair, isn't it? It's absolutely fair and just very clever. And it eluded me for far too long. But that being 1-4 is going to give us a 9 in the corner, which is correct. So this is 4, and this is 1, which means this is not 4. So now look, this is a 4-8 pair in box 8, which I presume is incredibly useful for the following reason. Come on, brain, come up with the reason. Well, it means these squares, one of them is a 7, obviously, beneath the 8, and the other is a 3 or a 5. So that gives me a 3, 5, 7 triple and places the 6 here. No fog is getting clear by any of this, which is slightly worrying. This square is a 3 or a 5 by Sudoku. And this has got 1 and 4 on it, so it needs to have 2 and 3 on it. We still don't quite know what goes where, I don't think. I thought this would just collapse now, but it's not. Oh, there's a 4-8 pair in that column, I've just noticed. Is that important? Not sure. The 6 here is doing something, so that becomes a 6. That becomes a 3. No, I still don't think that's done it either. Well, okay, so it must be something to do more with this black line. It's absolutely bizarre. Well, what is it then? What is it I've missed about this line? 4, 8 here. 3, 5, 7 is in one of these squares. I know I've got to put 2 and 3 on this line. I now know for sure there is a 3 in one of these 3 squares. Do I have a way of knowing in which of those squares it is? I suppose the other thing is, are there other digits that are difficult now to get on the line that exists in the fog bin? I don't think there are, actually. I was sort of thinking about 5s, 6s and 7s, but it looks like all of those digits are achievable. Okay, so I've got to think harder. 2, 3, 5 and 7. So these squares are from 2, 3, 5 and 7 by Sudoku, and that square is not 3. So if this was 5 or 7, then we would have to have a 3 up here. We'd have to get a 2 from somewhere, which would be up there. That's all fine, though, I think. 3, 6 pair here with an 8. Okay, I don't know what to do. 6 here, the 6 here. There's a 6 in one of these, apparently. Oh, Myxo, your puzzles are challenging. They're challenging in the extreme. How do I finish this? I don't know. Is there... Oh, okay. Maybe there's a problem. Do we run out of digits in this column or something like that? Where is... Yeah, okay, where's 2 in this column? Good grief, that's a strange thought, isn't it? But actually, I now see it can only be there. Well, okay, there was something. There is a white dot that's got a 4 on it. So this is either 4, 5 or 3, 5. So which, oh, and it's not, look, it's got a 3, 6 beneath it. So that is a 4, 5 pair at the top, which means this is 7, and that's our A digit, look. So that becomes 7, that becomes 7, that becomes 5. The 7 is knocked out of these squares. Let's deal with all this. The 5 comes out of this square, and And this square is now naked single, apparently, because it can't be 7 either. So that becomes 1. 2 now. This is, I can see one thing this is doing, which is the fact that this line needs a 2 on it. Where's it getting it from now? It's got to be that square, so that is now a 2. And there's a grey line emerging under the fog. Wow! This puzzle is sick. Now that's a 5. This column has not got 9 in it, so we can put that in. 9. There's a white dot here. Okay, this white dot has got to have an even digit on it. In fact, that even digit is 6, so it's definitely not got 3 on it as well. So the 3 must go there, apparently. Yeah. Okay, knocking out the possibility of a 3 in the corner, but never mind. So 3, 7, that becomes 5, 3, 7. This becomes a double 3 pair. Sorry, I get it. It doesn't have a double 3 in it. Therefore, that becomes a 3. This dotty relationship here is 5 and 6, and the 5 isn't known. So that is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Renban. Look, the 6 and the 3 go here, so that becomes a 3. That's of some of the last vestiges of fog are being revealed now. That top digit is a 5 or a 7. Now, is this finished? Come on, be finished. It probably is finished. We just have to do some Sudoku, I suspect, at this juncture. Can we do the 4s and the 8s or something? Probably. Don't know how. 2 in row 3 we can do, so that's a 2. So this becomes 1 or 7 by Sudoku. 1, 5, 7, 9. That's not 7. That's not 9. Okay, nearly. Nearly, but not quite. 6 in box 3. Where's that going? That's going to go in the corner, apparently, clearing away a little bit more fog. So in this box we need 1, 7, 8 and 9, don't we? Now, is that done somehow? Probably. I just can't see it quickly, so I'm going to have to do it with diligence. 4, 5, 4, 8, 1, 4. Please, please, puzzle, give up now. You have put up the most mighty resistance. You've done your master proud, and now it's time to give up. There's a 3 here, I've just noticed. Okay, that's now all the fog cleared away, so we don't earn any more dots, so it's got to be achievable from this position. Let's have a think about this. Where, I was about to say something that wouldn't have helped me at all. 7 is in one of those squares. Is that useful? I don't know. Holiday brain is hurting me now. Stop it, holiday brain. Let me just win. 6 is 9. Oh no, it's not resolved though. 9 is in one of those 2 squares. 3, 1. I can't see it. I still can't see it. I have to finish the puzzle. What on earth am I missing now? Do I know which is the order of the 4 and the 8 here? Or the 5? Oh, the 5 and the 7. There we go. It's Sudoku. Of course it's Sudoku. So that's 4, that's 8, that's 8, that's 4. And now, hopefully, this is... yeah, that's 5. So 5 and 4 go in. That's got to be a 5. And I would have thought that we're now not a million miles away from solving the puzzle. Okay, so let's see. What have we got now? Have we earned the right to do the 1s and the 2s down here? the 5 is doing the 5 and the 2 and the 2 and the 1. So 1 has to go there, which means this becomes 7. That's not 7 anymore. So we get a 1, 4, 8 triple in this column. This square is a 9. So looking at there, we haven't put 8 into this column, which is going to do it, isn't it? So that's now 8. That's now 9. The 1 here does the 1, the 4, the 4 and the 8. The 9 and the 7 and the 7 at the top. And what a puzzle that is. Wow. 61 minutes. Well, I was a bit slow. I was a bit slow at the end of that, especially. It was quite hard to start. I mean, you had to be relatively... I had to think quite hard about how the lines worked. But it was just lovely. It's lovely the fact that you can work out that 3, 4, 6 and 8 live in this row and point at this digit. Myxo is a seriously brilliant constructor. I mean, this is the second puzzle I've done in just a few days, and they've both been absolutely extraordinary. Did Myxo do that prison break puzzle I did as well? That was extraordinary. Yeah, I think I sorted out the orange line relatively okay. I loved the way this green line had to be 9 cells. That was ridiculous. And then I was slow on this bit because I didn't have the thought about 8. I didn't have the thought about... I was obsessed with the ability of whether that could be a 1-4 pair, forcing 2 and 3 on the line, and where the 3 could go. And I didn't think, well, what 9-4 on the line would be impossible because the 8, you simply couldn't put an 8 in the foggy cells. Once I had that thought, I was still a bit slow to finish it off, but that was, I think, the final crucial bit of the puzzle. It allowed us to unwind the end game. It's fantastic, that is. That's just a brilliant puzzle. And certainly one of my favourite Fog of War puzzles, and therefore, frankly, one of my favourite puzzles. Loved it. Let me know in the comments whether you had a go. Let me know how you got on. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.